Hey everybody, Eric Reed from Ramp here with the Gym Doctor. I'm here with Alan and Lisa Phillips. They've been on the program for about 4 weeks now. I think you just completed week four. Is that
Week
correct?
three.
Week three.
Week three. Got it. Perfect. So the reason I wanted to interview Alan and Lisa is one of the things that they kind of talked to me about almost immediately is the effect that ramp and getting back into a workout routine had on their their kind of mental clarity and some of the anxiety that they live with on a day-to-day basis. And I was hoping that they could talk a little bit about that and maybe speak to some people that are held back a little bit by some mental blocks and things like that. So welcome to the show, so to speak, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
um, can you speak to that a little bit? I can't remember. I'd be paraphrasing, but I remember when I asked you within, I think it was the first day or two, the first workout or two, and I was like, "Well, what do you notice right off the bat?" And you were talking about the mental side of things. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, so I'll start. So happy to be here and on the program, of course. So yeah, one of the things that I noticed straight off the bat, even after like the first workout, was that, how much it helped my mental health. So I'll talk about it a little bit more in detail as this goes on. But I'm definitely that type of person who I was really kind of down in the dumps with my anxiety at the time when I decided to join the program. And so I feel like what I can say about it is that it has just given me, kind of a new lease on life is what I'm experiencing. It just gives me a reason to, get out of bed every day besides work. So yeah, I mean, it's just even in week one, I was already seeing that mental clarity, as you said. So
Yep. And you think it's really like kind of solved that? I mean, maybe not solved. That's a strong word, but helped immensely with that day-to-day anxiety.
yeah, no, absolutely. Because I mean, I'm the type of person that, obviously I go to work every day like everybody else. But I'm not someone who has like a hobby that kind of takes me away from my anxiety. So kind of adding in the REMP program has just given me that opportunity to kind of look forward to something every day, which is not normal for me to look forward to working out. But it has been, that big change for me is just kind of like looking forward to the workout.
No, I love that. And Alan, you've been an absolute riot when it comes to the workout portion because you're just so not the workout guy. And
Oh God.
maybe you can speak a little bit about your experience so far and maybe some of the anxiety that you also kind of stress that you suffer from as well.
Yeah. I've had generalized anxiety my entire life. I've had anxiety disorders. I have ADHD, and I had really bad mental illness when I was young. Really bad clinical depression. So I've got a history of issues, but I'm not like some get basket case or something. I function. I've functioned my entire life, and I've never really been into anything to do with health and any kind of fitness regime at all, apart from one period when I was younger, where after I had a really bad spell mentally, I ended up in hospital. I was off work for a year, and the one thing I did is I got into a workout regime that involved just basic. It wasn't really going to the gym weight training. It was more cardio. It was more
Calisthenic?
swimming and
Yeah,
walking. And there was some, I would do a number of push-ups, a number of sit-ups, and there was some like, workout stuff. And that was like after that, that was the best feeling I've ever had. But I got lazy. I mean, I spent my life, as you know yourself, you played in bands. I played in bands, so I moved a lot of gear around. I stayed fairly fit and healthy because I was moving a lot of heavy things around. So I never really saw the reason to go to the gym. But I stopped playing like nearly 10 years ago now. And then after that, I gained about 35, 40 pounds. And I've never, ever in my entire life put weight on. I hit
right.
45 and then just 35, 40 pounds came on and I turned into a slug. And then COVID hit. as it did for everybody. And yeah, I was then a slug in the house, doing nothing, going nowhere, like a lot of people were. And the last thing I wanted to do was anything
Right.
physically. Oh, and recently, I mean, I used to work full time at home, and then I started a new job, so I have to commute every day, and I was finding the anxiety of getting in the car and going to a job after having so many years of not doing that. I mean, before my last job where I was fully at home, I had my own business for 15 years, so I never went to work for a
Right.
long time. And I found the anxiety every morning was brutal. I would get up and it was just awful. And then, my stomach would be off and all issues like that. And then it was Lisa that dragged me into this program. She said, "You're going to do this. Whether you like it or not, you're going to do it." I'm like, "Oh, well, okay.
I
Can't really
needed an accountability
Yeah.
partner.
So she kind of dragged me in kicking and screaming. But from day one, just the feeling like an hour after that first workout was like, oh wow, where did that come from?
Right.
And suddenly it was like, as the days went on, I started to, I didn't really notice it, but the anxiety just kind of slipped away. Just my overall mental health, I was more positive. I was a lot more focused, and I'm an engineer, so I need to be focused. And when you lose your focus as an engineer, you're kind of useless. So
Right.
that was really nice to get that feeling back. So yeah, it's been a heck of a nice trip so far.
That's awesome. No, that's the perfect testament. I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize about fitness, where they just think everything's physical, 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 and it's just that's really just part of what fitness is. There are so many things that people don't talk about, which was very important for me to talk to you guys specifically because you noticed that right off the bat. Obviously, you both
Mm.
amazing, physical changes, and it's great to see you guys send me great photos all the time, and it's so cool watching you both shrink. Honestly, I was saying to Alan, I think you guys sent me pictures yesterday or something like that, and it was like your stomach went to your chest, in 3 weeks. It was so weird to
I'm walking around,
yeah, seriously.
got
And
shoulders
your
again.
posture just changed, like everything about you changed. And like even talking about fitness now and like talking to you guys, you just seem so much more kind of vibrant, in your life, and you just have this new kind of outlook. And you're already talking about the next plan and the next plan, the next plan, where,
Oh,
I feel like, a few short weeks, you've really transformed the way you feel about fitness. Now, obviously, short of, talking about the mental stuff that kind of changed, like, what is it about the ramp system where you're finally like, okay, like this is possible for me? Like, what was it about that? Maybe talk about a few of the things about ramp that made it kind of plausible for you in your lives where you'd never been able to do it before.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, aside from Alan, who, like, as he mentioned, he wasn't super into fitness, I feel like I was like a closet fitness person where I wanted it so bad. So I did all of those things, the high cardio and the, crash diets and such like that. And I did have a little bit of success throughout the years, but what I found was it wasn't sustainable.
Right.
Um, so I was just like working out, like I was doing like 2 hours a day of cardio, and I'm like, but I'm not seeing any results. I mean,
Right.
so I feel like that's the same for everybody, that has tried to go through their fitness journey, is that they obviously quit because that's the easiest thing to do, is to quit. So when I heard about the ramp system, a couple of things that kind of spoke to me was like, oh my God, like I could do this 3 days a week. That's it for 45 minutes. So I was like already sold on that because I was used to doing like 2 hours every day. And then also having the program, because I know that throughout the years of doing like my own little fitness programs, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, just arbitrary kind of workouts and things like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think that's a big thing for people, is that whether they're at home or they go to the gym, they just like have no idea what to do. So for Alan and I, like we literally just kind of start the program and we go down the list of everything that we have to do. And then at the end of 45 minutes, it's like, oh my God, like I can't believe we just did that whole entire workout.
Yeah.
So those are the two big things for me. And also just seeing the success of everybody that had been on the program already, because like I know that the program is working, you know, when I see people have their successes and their changes too. So, you know, it's really helpful to kind of see the journeys of everybody as well that have been on the program a lot
Right.
longer than us too. So those are kind of like the major points for me is having a structured plan, but not having to, you know, worry about, I guess, like to kind of how I want to say this is that, you know, sometimes if you're going into a program where you're kind of going to training or like, so I guess for my anxiety as well, so I'll bring anxiety back into this, is that I do have anxiety about like making plans for things. So I like that I have the opportunity to kind of just like do it on whichever 3 days I want to during the week, and not have to, you know, worry about, you know, having that kind of structure.
Yeah. Because
That's a big
that'll stress
part.
you out right off the bat and
Exactly,
that
exactly.
anxiety, right?
So, and you know, and I'll talk about this too, because like clearly we want everyone to go into the gym, but I knew starting the program that my anxiety was so bad that I wasn't going to be able to make it to the gym at that point. So Alan and I built our home gym. You know, had you come in to test us on our home gym. And I feel like just having the home gym has built up my confidence, you
Love
know,
it.
to be able to kind of take it to the next level, you know, on the next program, because we're only on week 4, but we're already thinking about the next program. So
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Go ahead, Alan.
So the one thing that I always thought about fitness was it's like a black jaw. It's like doing the washing up, washing the pots. It's like you've got to do it, but you hate it. And that was like my mentality for fitness all along. It was just it was like a negative chore. But what we've found is by doing it together, we have a lot of fun. We have a laugh. It's hilarious sometimes, especially when you've got two newbies that have never done this before. It's just it's hilarious, and that was kind of motivation, just because it's a bit of together time that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I would highly recommend it to anybody. You know, do it with someone. Do it as you know if you're going to take it on, so that person you're then accountable to that person as well.
Yep.
And it just makes it more fun. It becomes like something that's just good rather than you
Yeah.
know it's like a big hump in the road you've got to go over every day,
Yeah.
you know, 3 times a week. It's not like that at all. It's and the way the program's set up, it's kind of brilliant actually, because when you did the testing and right all the way through the program, I can tell you got it dead on, because right at the last few goals of any exercise, you can feel it. It's like, and it's a good feeling. It's like, and you know, if you did another 5 more, that would be too many.
Right.
And as you go along, as the weights increase over the the sessions, then it's not like it feels any worse because you're getting stronger. It's the
Right.
same feeling at the
Yep.
same point.
Yep.
That makes sense. So
Does.
you know it's perfect when it's like that. And you know those last 3, it's like I can do it, but it's tough,
Yep.
but in a good way. It's a challenge tough.
Yeah. No, and that's exactly what it was, why it was built or how it was built, is that we're giving you a little bit more volume each exercise,
Mm.
progress over time rather than kind of arbitrarily walking into a gym or going down to your home gym and saying, I think I'm going to do this weight today, you know, just because I'm feeling this certain way. Maybe you're having a bad day or good day, but it takes that out of it, obviously. And I think that's one of the things that you're both kind of perpetuating, and I'm just rounding it out a little bit. What would you say? Obviously, there are going to be a lot of people out there that have tried fitness, maybe they've had a bad experience, or maybe they've started and stopped and tried multiple things, and think about like, well, what's different about this program from the last time and all that stuff. And I'll kind of defer all the comments, because I've made plenty of videos on kind of how we're different. But what is it that you would say to somebody watching that video that's just like, yeah, it sounds kind of cool, like maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll get around to it. Like, what would you say to those people?
Yeah, no, good question. I mean, I'm already getting that because I'm already trying to get some people that I know need this program, to kind of jump on the train, really.
Yeah.
So I think that for someone who's on the fence, like I would honestly just say to them, like, just trust it, like
Right.
trust the process, because what you guys built, as Ellen said, is genius. And it's just, and I hear it all the time, because even talking to a friend the other day when I was talking to her about the program, she's like, yeah, but like, how do I know it will work for me? And I'm like, because the program is built around you. Like, what people don't realize is that it's like fitness is not a one size fits all, like what people think. And it wasn't for me, it wasn't for Ellen, and it wouldn't be for anybody. So, a lot of the times people are going into these fitness programs or watching these videos on YouTube, and like those people that are teaching those classes on YouTube have never met you. They don't know your strength. They don't know your body type. They don't know anything about your life. So I try and just kind of reiterate that you just have to just believe that, it's going to work because it's built solely for you.
Right.
And I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, and you had mentioned one size fits all, but it's and Rocco, the creator of this, tells everybody it's one size fits one, right? So this is
Mhm.
for every person individually. Your plan will never look like even Alan's plan, even though you're doing similar exercises. Your plan is completely different. The progression is different. The weights are different. The rep ranges could be different. So it's really, it doesn't matter. But the program is obviously intuitive, in that I know I have a couple who have a home gym, and this is what they have available to use, so that I know that they can do a similar routine, but definitely still have an individualized situation where you're both getting maximal efficient, kind of workouts for yourselves, right? Where it's pushing you to the edge, like you said, Alan. Like, the program knows when you're gonna fail. It's weird. Where it's just
Yeah,
like,
no,
I didn't know
exactly.
that 14 reps is where I was gonna start shaking, and I can't
Yeah,
fail. Like,
literally. Because that's right. Because these aren't just random numbers. These are very calculated numbers, and it's kind of bizarre because we'll have a certain exercise where like Lisa will be on one weight at 15 reps or 14 reps, and I'll be on a slightly heavier weight on less reps.
right,
It's just weird that how it is. It's almost like when you look at that, well, that's kind of should be kind of the same, but it isn't. It isn't
no,
just.
nope,
And it's funny too, because like we have a laugh about it sometimes, because obviously when I tested, like we found that like my legs were actually pretty strong. And on some of the exercises, I have like more weight than Alan does on the same exercise. And sometimes he's like, well, like how come my weight's like, less than yours? And it's like, because like that's the program.
right,
Like I just happen to have more strength in that muscle than you did when you tested. Because a lot of like, if you look at it from like men and women, you assume that a man's going to have more weight than a woman, but that's really not the case. It's really
not always. Yeah,
for
in
you.
general, yeah, not always. Yeah, it's not always the case, but it's just, again, another iteration of that these are customized plans, and when we say customized, we actually mean it. And another thing I'll add is just that we're backing your results with 100% money back. I mean, who's out there doing that right now, that's saying like, hey, if you don't get results, we'll give you your money back, because we don't want your money if you don't get results. Now,
Right.
obviously, we know that if you show up to the gym and show up for yourself, I'll say, for your workouts 3 times a week, and you follow the nutrition plan, even 50-50, you're going to get positive results. So we do know that, right? So it's not like we're doing this baseless kind of money back guarantee. It's we have the cards stacked against people, knowing that if you just show up, you're going to get results. But who's going to say, hey, I got in better shape, that wasn't worth it to me, right?
Yeah.
Like
No,
exactly, so who's going to say, like, I got in better shape and I don't feel good and I'm not thankful. So yeah, I just wanted to get with you guys, and for those people that are on the fence, like, honestly, just take the leap, or at least just reach out to me. I'll talk to you. I'll show you how easy it is.
have to say yes, but I feel
Yeah.
like if people get in front of you, they'll say yes, because it once you see it and you test, it makes so much sense. Even from the first workout, like
Yeah.
it's just like, oh my God, like that makes so much sense.
Yeah. And it's
Well,
so much
that's-
easier than you assumed, and it takes out all that arbitrary kind of,
Right.
content that's out there.
Mhm.
I was actually talking to a friend of mine that I used to work with, actually moving to the same company that I work with, and he every morning religiously he goes to the gym, and we were talking about it on the phone the other day. So I was telling him about the program we just started, and he started laughing because me and fitness is like, chalk and cheese, and
Talking.
and he said, you know what? I've been going for 4 years, but nothing's changed. I'm like, I know a guy. I know a guy.
I know, yeah.
And I'm going to put you in touch with him, because you've already got the motivation and you're already in, you're 90% there. You just,
100%. Yeah, he's there.
Well, we're going for 4 years without any change.
he said, I only go because I think if I don't go, I'll just get fatter.
Which is probably true, right?
It's probably true.
A little bit of damage control, but if I can get you there more efficiently, quicker, easier, with less guesswork, like, why wouldn't you do that, right? And that's what this program is about. It's about taking people that have busy lives. We all have busy lives. We live in a society that's very stressful these days, more than your everyday, work stress. There's a lot of extraneous things kind of going on out there. So it's like, when we developed this program, it was like, how can we make fitness simple for people? How can we scale it, right? Because scaling this is ridiculous. That's the biggest kind of part of this is, I could talk to 5 people in a room and explain to them how simple fitness can be for them. But how do I do that scalably? How do I reach millions of people? And this program is literally going to do that. I'm not going to say it could do that. It's going to do that. Just because of people like yourselves that are willing to kind of say, hey, I'm crushing it on this program, and I want to tell people about it. I want to root for people that are on that plan. And that's what we're trying to perpetuate again with Ramp and Gym Doctor, is we're celebrating all the wins, and we're taking, any setbacks and any losses, we'll take it as a team. But really just celebrating each other and taking back the health of our country, right? I mean, there's a humanitarian effort, I'll say momentous effort that's necessary to do this. And step one is people like yourselves kind of talking about your experiences and hopefully talking to people on the mental side of things that aren't really talked about with fitness. I mean, we could go into, and maybe we will eventually, about all the chemicals, all the chemical changes that happen in your brain and in your body as you start working out. Alan, it looked like you wanted to add to that, or you just kind of agree.
Oh, no, it's just it's amazing. It's amazing how, I mean, what I did find kind of bizarre was my sleep pattern changed when I started the program. At first, it was weird because I was like, I had not nightmares, but I was dreaming a lot on the days I was doing the program. It was kind of bizarre, but that kind of went away. It was almost like your body's like reshaping itself.
Yeah.
Like recalibrating.
It's like
Yeah.
recalibrating. I mean, like I say, it wasn't anything alarming. It was just like my sleep pattern changed. But now it's. And now, have you got? Yeah, I've not got it on right now because it's charging. But I have one of those watches that does all these sleep patterns and everything. And my sleep patterns are just so consistent.
So much better.
So consistent.
Yeah, no, true, because it has because it tests your sleep for the watch, and like so many times it would be like average or good for me. But I found like since I've been doing this program, it's like I get excellent every night, which is like
Yes.
so crazy. So it's like, yes, like you're gonna look better. And of course, looking better is going to make you feel better. That's just how life goes.
Sure.
But yeah, like you had said, like we really need to stress about how fitness affects so many aspects of your life. And that's like your sleep, that's your eating, that's your obviously overall wellness, it's your obviously your health and all your organs and all that stuff. But like mental health is huge. Like
Totally.
I dealt with anxiety, and it's more like generalized anxiety too, so you can't pinpoint what the problem is. And I have these issues with like even getting up the motivation to go somewhere or to see my family or anything like that. And it's just, and to see a change in the way like my thinking and how I'm kind of attacking each day has changed significantly. Like I was like the day before I started to ramp, I was at that point where like, and I've said to you many times where it's like I wasn't like clinically depressed, but I was just like I can't stand to get out of bed and face another day because it's just like anxiety. And a lot of people that have it can attest to this, is that like living your life and even like getting out of bed
Yeah.
and making breakfast is just like the hardest thing you can ever do. And since I've been on the program, like it's just it's to the point where it like makes me want to like cry, because like I get up every day and I don't even think about it. I get
Yeah.
up, I have like a protein packed breakfast, and that's not me. I've never kind of been that way. So it's
But it's
like
you. Yeah.
if I can sell anything to anyone, it's the mental health part, and the way you look comes along with it. Like my goal really is like the mental aspect, but the result is like overall.
That's so awesome. What a great testament. It really is. And that's for anybody, even if you're not suffering from anything on a serious level.
Everybody can
We all deal with
need
some
to feel
level of
better.
stress and anxiety, maybe, obviously some more than others like yourselves, but it's just, I don't think enough is said about, kind of what it does for you. You being able to say like the day before you started, you couldn't get out of bed. And then a couple of days later being like, I have all this energy and like I'm looking forward to it. And you call me and being like, Eric, I don't even understand what's going on right now. Alan just told me he can't wait to get home to work out after work. Like, and it was
But
like,
he's the one that
joke,
like
right?
texts me, and it's like, and also like I find myself too, because I'm still working remotely, so that's like a whole other thing. So like having this program has been really helpful to get myself moving. But like I find myself, like he can attest to this, that like I'm in my workout clothes, sitting in the kitchen, being like, all right, get in there and get your workout clothes on. And it's weird. I'm like, I don't even like recognize myself.
Yeah,
It's
weird.
weird.
Very God. Yeah, but it's your new life, so get used to it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because we showed you what's possible, we showed you how easy it is. Obviously, cost effective as far as what it's done for you guys. I'm sure you would pay tons more money for that,
Oh my God.
the mental side of kind of what's going on. And again, another testament
Money was not
to the
the
program is we price this so like everybody can do it. We want millions of people. We want to save. I don't want to say save because it's a little bit kind of, but we want to help people. We want to empower people. Empowering people is kind of what we're all about. Is like what we're doing is actually pretty simple, right? Now that you do it in your daily life, you're like, oh, this is like pretty easy. Why didn't I never do this? And the reason is because you never had a system like this that kind of told you what to do, when to do it. And that's understandable. And that's the humility on my side and on the side of the fitness industry, is that we never had anything to offer you. We really didn't. We had beautiful facilities with tons of nice equipment, and we hope you came in. I couldn't talk to anybody like you both who had, kind of mental blocks about even kind of stepping into a gym, let alone what would happen once you got there.
Mhm.
So being able to kind of talk like this a little bit more candidly about, what might be going on in somebody's brain, like I take for granted how simple it is to kind of be in a gym because I'm in one every day, but that can be something that's just almost an impossibility in somebody's brain that's never done it, or maybe they had a bad experience. What I'm saying now is the gyms that we, and this is a growing population of gyms that we're installing ramp in, you're going to have that system that really cares about getting you better, and not just physically, mentally, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you guys have anything else to add? I mean, you can say whatever you want, Alan. I think everybody will love just listening to you talk. Yeah.
He's put me on the spot now.
No, you don't. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just saying. I'll get a bunch of messages like, "Oh, that guy was right. I can only understand every other word, but it was the best."
I know, because I was thinking ahead, I'm like, hopefully people understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they will. No,
you
absolutely.
can go global if you do it in England, everybody will understand.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
Well, actually, we're
get over there.
we're gonna get his dad on the program. So,
I love it.
big thing is like us just sharing our journey with his dad, who still lives in the UK. He joined a gym.
Nice.
He's been like starting to use the machines and everything, and he's just like, he messages me like a couple times a week, and he's like, I can't wait to come over and work out with you guys. And I'm like, what are we talking about? It's like, it's so crazy that, like, and his dad is 75,
77 this year.
77 this year.
So,
And he's like super excited. So like we told him, when he comes over, like we can have you over, you can get him on the program.
we'll get
So
him a test. Yeah, absolutely.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah, he's always kept himself really fit as my dad. He's always been an advocate, and I ignored him my entire life. He always tried to get me to, because he's gone to the gym multiple times throughout his life. He used to play rugby, he used to go running, he'd like run up the side of mountains. So he was always a kind of a healthy person. But in the last kind of few years, he does spinning every week, but I think he does it more for the social occasion than he does to actually anything else. But he does that. But whenever he does anything like this, he puts his heart and soul into it. So I think it'll be really good for him, because he'll get the upper body strength back, which is, that's what he's not getting that right now. He's getting the cardio, but he's not getting the upper body strength.
Does he even recognize you as far as you talking the language now of fitness?
He laughs about it, and he thinks it's just like, I think both like Alan's mom and dad are just, and we've been sharing our progress photos with them too, just so they can kind of see what we have going on, because it's funny too. So like going back to the anxiety thing, like when his parents come over, I'm like just like the lump on the couch, doesn't want to do anything. So I think also they're probably like, oh my God, like I can't believe she's actually kind of like doing this, because like they go for walks every, and like I don't even like go with them. And it's like, yeah, we've been going for walks. I'm like, who are we?
Yeah, we've never done that.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So one little thing that I just we haven't talked about at all is the nutrition side of this. That sometimes is a little scary for people.
Right.
And it shouldn't be. I mean, certainly for us, we weren't like super healthy eaters or anything. I mean, I could chomp through a bar of chocolate every single day, and I did. And I think I still do a little bit. I'll be truthful, but I mean, I don't recommend doing that, but I'm addicted. What can I say?
Join ramp and eat a bar of Cadbury every day.
So yeah, I mean,
as long as it's real Cadbury, it's okay. Yeah. It's a zero calorie food, I think.
That's right. I mean, I look, it's got protein in it. That's good.
Yeah. But no, you guys,
I'm only kidding. I mean, I've definitely, you can't go. I've decreased, but I haven't stopped, is what I'm saying. You don't have to stop.
Yeah, you don't have to change everything in your life. You don't have to be perfect. That's the thing about this, is like, we're not telling you you're going to be perfect in 8 weeks. So we're not asking you to change your whole life to a perfect lifestyle in 8 weeks. Like, you just get better over time. Mm-hmm. You understand that you get out what you put in. That's what fitness is. There's no way you can outwork a terrible diet. If you're getting low protein and for a living, you're never really going to get where you want to be. But I think you guys were always relatively okay. I think when we talked, you guys, your nutrition wasn't terrible.
protein like was, pretty good. Like we've definitely both increased our protein for sure. Because like we were always like, and we were, we always had like lean meats and such like that. Like I was, what I found funny too is like if I make like a rotisserie chicken, like I was always that one that like took some of the skin, and now I like won't touch it. And
Right, just little
if I
things.
eat a piece of skin, like the workout I did is just not, so it's like it's things like that too, is like you're
Yeah,
thinking, and you said that to me on day one, because
mindfulness.
what about nutrition? Like, and you're like, yeah, but like when you're doing it, you're
Yeah,
just gonna train yourself to be
yeah,
like, no, I can't eat that.
Yep.
Um, you
Just
know,
like any commitment in your life, like getting married or, whatever. You purchase something, you want to make sure you use it. It's one of those things where you're just like, now I have a mission, and
yeah.
I want to, impede the progress of that mission. And again, as Alan was kind of stating, you don't have to be perfect
No, you
by
don't.
any
I
means.
mean, it doesn't have to be torturous. You know, it's not. I mean, I've changed a few things, and actually, I'm kind of glad I changed them because now, like, I suffered stomach issues in my life as well. A lot of that was related
which is so
to
crazy because this is the longest
stomach.
he's never had like a stomach issue. It's like insane. Like knock on
No
wood.
way.
He
It
hasn't at
started?
all since he's been on the
It's
program.
it's awesome. It's awesome.
Like
Yeah.
What?
insane. Like we wanted to share that with you,
I'm
is that
telling you.
he has
It,
those like problems almost every day. Like so like it's like the IBSD, which is like nobody
yeah,
wants to talk
the
about that,
worst. Yeah.
obviously.
I'm gonna beating me up.
And that was part of some of his anxiety going to work every day, because like
Of
you're
course.
in the car for like 40 minutes,
Terrible.
you're like, oh my God,
Terrible.
what do I do? But he hasn't had like one issue. Like
That's so
mind
cool.
blown.
And
Yeah,
again, like,
it's pretty crazy actually, but
it
that's a
is. Your whole
combination.
body changes. Everything about you changes when you just flip that switch. And all you have to do is flip that switch. Like you just, you know what? I'm not doing anything. All right, I'm going to start doing it. That's it. That moment of I'm going to try this is going to change everything. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, a doctor back in the day when I was ill in my 20s, I remember him telling me it's like healthy body, healthy mind. It's the best prescription you can have.
absolutely.
And I mean, that was back, in the days where doctors, especially in England, where they don't just write prescriptions because it's the national health system and it costs the government money. So they tend not to just write prescriptions out for you
Right.
there. And I just remember him always saying that if your body's healthy, your mind is going to follow.
Absolutely
It's
true.
absolutely true. I mean, I haven't always lived that through my life, I've not always lived to that, but it's nice to get back to it now.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I guess again, if the people watching this video, it's not enough reason for you to feel better, look better, sleep better, feel healthier, have a better relationship, eat better, better skin, better mental
Oh, yeah,
clarity, better
yeah.
work. Like
Better skin. Another one. Good.
everything is different. Everything changes in your life when you just take that moment and say, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. And now
Mhm.
there's something out there that can kind of get you there from day one, like you were saying. You guys were saying from day one, like everything kind of changed. So
Yeah.
Mm.
pretty awesome. So I guess thank you for coming on and telling your
Oh,
story. It's not always easy to kind of have that humility, and you guys were fantastic for doing that, because I think you're going to speak to a lot of people that kind of suffer from similar things. So what would be like one thing that you told everybody before we pop off here?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that, I mean, and I'll speak for both Alan and I, is that, if you're someone who has, tried, like I said, tried those fitness programs, those crash diets, as we know is, when you're not on, a program, it's harder to sustain that. So like if you are someone who's looking for success and sustainability, better mental health, better overall wellness, then RAMP is going to be the last fitness program that you'll ever need.
absolutely, yeah.
Love that. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. We'll check back in a few weeks, see what else has changed, and looking forward to those further progress photos.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem, guys.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.